Number 5 says write the equation of a line that is parallel to the line y equals 3x minus 3. So the first thing we want to look for is what is the slope. The slope of this line y equals mx plus b means that the coefficient, the number in front of x, is going to be our slope. So if it's going to be a parallel line, then we want it to be the exact same slope. So we're going to use m equals 3. So if we're going to write an equation of the line, look at that slope-intercept y equals mx plus b. We want to use a slope of 3, and it doesn't matter what our b is going to be. It can be anything as long as the slope is 3. So we could say like y equals 3x plus 100. We could say y equals 3x minus 2. It's whatever we want as long as that slope is going to be a 3. Now, number 6, it says write the equation of a line that is parallel to y equals x minus 1, and it has to pass through the point 2, 6. So let's first off look at what our slope needs to be for it to be parallel. So we look at this equation right here, and we want to think y equals mx plus b. So m being the number in front of x, there's an invisible 1, so the slope is going to be 1. So we're going to use a slope of 1 because it's going to be parallel. We need it to be the same slope. And it's got to pass through the point 2, 6. So we want to go to slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, and plug in our information. So y is going to be 6 equals m is 1 times x is 2 plus my b. So 2 times 1 is 2, so 6 equals 2 plus b. Now we want to subtract 2 from both sides. So then we have 4 equals my b. So what I need is I need my slope and I need my b to plug it into the slope-intercept form. So y equals, my m is 1, so 1x, plus my b is 4. However, to show the most appropriate form, we want to simplify that a little bit more because 1 times x is just x, plus 4, so this would be my final answer. Number 7 says write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to y equals 8x plus 7. So let's first start by looking at our slope, the number in front of x, which is 8. For it to be perpendicular, it needs to have a slope that is opposite. So opposite of the positive, 8 is a negative, and a reciprocal. This is like 8 over 1. So if I flip that, it's going to be negative 1 over 8. So that is going to be the slope we need for a line that's perpendicular to the one we see here. So now we have y equals negative 1/8 x, whatever you want. I'm just going to stop right there. You could put plus 5, minus 8. But as long as the slope is negative 1/8 because we need it to be opposite and reciprocal. It says, number 8, what is the slope of the line that passes through those 2 points? And then we're going to write the equation of the line. So the first thing I want to look for is the slope. So we're going to use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is going to be x and y and x and y. This is x1, y1, x2, y2. And we're going to plug it in. When I do my slope formula, I like to go ahead and set it up with putting my subtraction signs in place. So all I have to do is plug in the y's and the x's. So y2 is 4, y1 is 0, over x2 is negative 2, and x1 is 8. So now we simplify this. 4 minus 0 is 4. Negative 2 minus 8 is going to be negative 10, and that can actually be simplified. So it's going to be negative. 2 goes into 4 2 times, 2 goes into 10 5 times, so the slope is going to be negative 2/5. That answers the first question. Then the second question says, let's go ahead and find the equation of the line. So you pick one of these 2 points. I'm just going to pick the first one because it's got a 0 and the numbers are both positive. So we take y equals mx plus b, and now I'm going to use 0 as my y equals my slope of negative 2/5 times my x of 8 plus b. So 0 is going to equal, let's go ahead and put that as 8 over 1. So now I can multiply the tops together. So negative 2 times 8 is negative 16. And then 5 times 1 on the bottom is 5. So that is going to be plus b. So now since it's negative, I want to add that to both sides. When I do 0 plus 16/5, I'm going to get 16/5. So we need this slope here and we need this b here. And we're going to plug it into y equals m, so my negative 2/5 x, plus my b of 16/5, and that will be my final answer. Number 9 says, what is the distance between these 2 points? And we're going to write the equation of a line that passes between these 2 points. So let's start with distance. The distance formula is going to be the square root of, when you do this, you want to take your x2 minus your x1 squared, added to your y2 minus your y1 squared. And now we're going to plug in our information. This is going to be x and y and x and y. This is the first order pair. This is the second order pair. So the distance is going to be equal to the square root of x2 is 7 minus x1 is 3. And we're going to square that and add it to y2 is 2 minus y1 is negative 3, and we'll square that as well. So the distance here is going to equal 7 minus 3 is 4 squared, plus 2 minus negative 3 is the same as 2 plus 3, which is 5 squared, and we'll be taking the square root. Do not cancel out these squares with that square root. It doesn't work that way. We got to do order of operations, which means we have to do the inside first. So 4 squared is 16, plus 5 squared is going to be 25. So then we now want to clean that up and add. So 6 plus 5 is 11, carry the 1, plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4, so square root of 41. So the distance of this particular point between these 2 points is going to be square root of 41. Then it says to write the equation line that passes through these 2 points. That's a completely different concept. So the first thing we want to find is slope. So we're going to do y2 minus y1. So y2, which is 2, minus y1, which is negative 3, over x2, which is 7, minus x1, which is 3. So the slope here is going to be 2 plus 3 is 5 on the top. 7 minus 3 is 4 on the bottom. Now we want to write the equation line, so we need to pick one of these points. I'm going to pick the one that's positive numbers, although you can pick either point. And so we're going to plug it into y equals mx plus b. So my y in this case is going to be 2 equals my slope is 5/4 times my x is going to be 7 plus b. So we have 2 equals. Now notice here this is not going to do anything that cancels, so I'm going to go ahead and put this as 7 over 1. That gives me 5 times 7 is 35 on the top, over 4 times 1 is 4, plus b. So I'm going to go ahead and put this as 2 over 1 because I can see I'm going to have to combine fractions. Bringing that over here, 2 over 1 is going to need to have a denominator of 4. So if I multiply the bottom by 4 to get that, then I multiply the top by 4. So 4 times 2 is 8, over 4 times 1 is 4, equals 35/4 plus b. So now I want to subtract 35/4 from both sides. And since I now have a like denominator, both of these are going to be 4, then all I have to do is 8 minus 35, which is going to be negative 27. And then from there, what I need to do is take that b and that slope and plug it into y equals mx plus b, this equation here. So y equals 5/4 x minus 27/4, and that will be my final answer here.